Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here. Before I go to bed, I think I'd like to share with you something about your pretend president to what enable you to understand them a little bit better. Donald Trump believes that every human being on earth is crooked, that not one righteous is amongst us. He was trained to believe like that. He came up with parents who taught him through actions as well as words and treated him like he was royalty. And as he grew with that training, he followed it up with what you might call entitlement. When you hear him say that when he could walk up on girls and just kiss them and they would let him because he had money, he was known, and the world and its people suffer so much because of a lack of money. Till when the opportunity comes for them to possibly make just some, maybe only a few bucks, sometimes they jump at it. That's why you find so many people seeking big money, the money that comes from being in show business and stuff like this. And that every door there's a price that you got to pay. And in many instances, people pay those prices. Do they get the benefits for what they thought they were buying? I don't know. You can be the judge of that. But this is how he feels. He can walk up on girls and kiss them, and that's okay with them because they allow you to do it. If you're famous, if you're somebody and you got money and you're bold enough to do it, they'll just let you do it. He even suggested that he could go under their dress and mess with them down there and they'll just let him do it. Now he's telling you about the world that he grew up in, the kinds of things that he saw and believed is possible. And this is why he had no problem when he determined in his own mind that he was going to do something that no one had done in America. He was going to change and overthrow the system. He felt that people were crooked enough, he could find them. They found them in other parts of the world where you've had dictators. These people were broken. And he says, believe without doubt that he could break you. Yes, that he could break you. And so he walked all over your government knowing that people could be bought. They've always been bought in his world. And if they weren't bought, they could be threatened. And it was just as effective. Judges being murdered, Supreme Court justices, presidents, it doesn't matter. That didn't care who it bit, as long as the parts came together. So you have this, and you look at the cabinet. Just the other day, he had a little meeting with them sitting around him, praising him like what they do on Sunday. And they don't give Jesus that kind of praise on Sunday. I mean, they were just sitting around praising him. And then, as you watch that, you would think, what is it that would have these people sit there and get caught up in what they are caught up in? You try to answer it, you can't really answer it because it could be that they're being bought, or it could be that they are being threatened. And it could be that's just the way that they are. And in any event, it's happening. And it was almost effective to a whole political party, let alone those who just stayed out of politics altogether. He said, just try it. You'd be surprised at the number of people that are crooked. Now, how does it feel for that cabinet? All of those guys he chose to help him do what he's supposed to do. the ones that he appointed and put in power, gave them the opportunity to be confirmed and got in power. And they're doing everything he wants done. And they know they are held before the world as liars. I'm recalling back in President Donald Trump's first campaign to be president of the United States, when in the Republican primary, they had all of these guys challenging him, and all of them told America that he was a demon from the pit of hell. Now that's paraphrasing, but it sums it up. He is a demon from the pit of hell, and they broke it down. But at the end of the day, the American people say, give me the demon from the pit of hell. And those guys says, what? Well, they knew then, as Republicans. And if they wanted to stay in politics, and they were conservative Republicans, but if they wanted to stay in politics, they had to throw away that good book. They had to throw away the thing that governed people's inner sense. They had to throw it away, because when they chose Donald Trump, they spoke to everybody in the country, and they especially spoke to the politicians, Republican, conservative politicians. They don't want any of that righteous stuff, that better stuff. Give us the worst you got, because the worst you got might work for us. And that's what we've had. That's what he's been ever since. The worst that the Republicans, the worst that white supremacy, the worst that those nationalized Christians. No, that's what they want. And this, my friends, was what they have been given. You see, the Supreme Court open their mouth, and you know you can't trust a thing they're saying. They might be telling the truth. You don't know. They might not. You can't trust them. FBI, you look at them. Are they telling the truth? You don't know. They might be, so you can't trust them. Look at every organization, especially government organizations. Doesn't matter whether Republicans or Democrats. They say one thing, you wonder, is it true, is it not? Can't trust them. And yet, you go year after year, presidential term after presidential term, living like this, and won't fix it. That proves what Trump is saying. Everybody is crooked. Because if you weren't crooked, you'd want this stuff fixed. But I'm talking about really fixed. The reason I say you're crooked, oh yes, you want a lot of stuff fixed. For instance, if you're a Democrat, the way you compare yourself to a Republican, you want a lot of stuff fixed. But even when you got that thing that you're talking about being fixed, black people were still slaves. Black people still going through Jim Crow. Black people are still having to be certified that they are citizens. Black people are still treated as property here in America. Democrats has not fixed that. So you can't brag. So that is what? That stumbling block that makes you, or should make you, recognize that you ain't there yet. You got a lot of work to do. So if you're going to deal with the situation, it's not just being different than the worst. It's being the best that can be. That's the goal. The best that can be. What's wrong with being like that? So is Trump right? Is every individual on earth crooked? I don't know. What you think? Good night.